Everyone, hope you guys are having a great day. Another episode of Baseball HQ. How you doing, Dakota?
Good, how are you?
Good. I want to
Um,
ask you if you could choose from the last five, well, I'll do 10 years after since the World Series is over. If you could choose, other than this past season, this season's World Series, what would be a second closest to this one?
Nolan, I haven't been a baseball fan for that long. I've always enjoyed the sport, but I haven't been following it until recently. I have to say the 2019 Nationals was pretty close, with the Nationals not winning a single game at home. They won all their away games to win the World Series. The Cubs and Guardians World Series in 2016. That was a pretty good one. And I think those are the two that come to my mind. Um, but it's a good question, but I haven't been around that long enough to give a decisive answer.
Got it. So, Dodgers Blue Jays World Series ended this past week. Very close,
Yep.
11 innings, Game 7. I don't have any highlights. If you could bring up some, like the Will Smith, basically finalizing in the 10th inning, top of the 10th or
Yeah,
11th inning.
I can give a recap real quick if you want.
Yeah.
So
While you do
it was Blue Jays Max Scherzer versus the Dodgers Shohei Ohtani. First two innings, it was scoreless. Blue Jays and Dodgers keeping each other at bay. But then the bottom of the third hit, and Ohtani pitching on short rest for the first time in his career. Gave up a single, sacrifice bunt, then threw a wild pitch, and then intentionally walked Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to put two runners on for Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette hits a 3-run homer to give the Blue Jays a 3-0 lead. The Dodgers would respond right back, though, in the top of the fourth. Teoscar Hernandez hit a sacrifice fly to center field on an amazing diving catch by Dalton Varsho. Will Smith scored, and that was all the damage to Max Scherzer. Tyler Glasnow came in after Justin Robleski and did really well for the first couple innings. And then in the top of the sixth, Chris Bassett for the Blue Jays came in, and Tommy Edman hit a sacrifice fly to center to score Mookie Betts, making the score 3-2. However, the Blue Jays would answer right back against Glasnow. Ernie Clement singled to left, Clement stole second, and then Andres Jimenez doubled to deep right center, scoring Clement to make it 4-2 Blue Jays. And then the rookie phenom himself, Trey Savage, came in, finished the top of the seventh on a double play. And then in the top of the eighth, gave up a solo home run to Max Muncy to right field to make it 4-3 with Blue Jays still in the lead. And then Jeff Hoffman, the Blue Jays closer, came in, finished out the eighth inning for Savage on a ground out by Tommy Edman. Emmett Sheehan pitched in the top of the eighth. He was taken out after Ernie Clement doubled, and then Blake Snell came in and relieved him, and Snell got out of that jam to keep it 4-3. Now, the top of the ninth was a very interesting turn of events. Jeff Hoffman, still in the game, the closer, struck out Kike Hernandez on 4 pitches. And then on a 7-pitch at bat to the unlikeliest of heroes, Miguel Rojas, after a 7-pitch at bat on a full count, left a slider in the bottom of the zone, and Miguel Rojas homered to make it 4-4. Hoffman got the rest of the 2 outs, but the damage had already been done. It was a tied game, and Game 7 of the World Series was going to extras. Blake Snell was pitching, and he put runner on first and second with only 1 out. And so Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who seems to have a rubber arm, who can do pitch seemingly any time whenever he's needed, came in, and on a 0-1 pitch, hit Blue Jays catcher Alejandro Kirk to put the bases loaded with 1 out. Andy Pages was in center field at this time. We'll need to say we have to put a tab in that for later. And then Dalton Varsho came in with the bases loaded and a chance to win the game, and he hit a ground ball to second. Miguel Rojas made an excellent pick and threw home and beat Isaiah Kinafalefa at home by not even inches, centimeters. As he threw it to Will Smith at the plate, Will Smith's foot came off the plate, but came back down just as Kinafalefa's foot was reaching home plate. So a very good play there. And then Ernie Clement came up with a chance to win it all, and he swung first pitch and hit it to left field. Now, Kike Hernandez was way in, expecting a bloop hit, but Clement hit it way back there. So as soon as Clement hit it, it was a really well hit ball. The crowd thinks it's a walk-off grand slam to end the World Series, and the Blue Jays' 32-year World Series drought is over. However, Hernandez was much closer to it, and he was able to run it back. However, Andy Pages was also running toward it, and they two collided. However, Pages was able to hang on to the catch to end at the bottom of the ninth, and the Blue Jays were kept at bay. Seranthony Dominguez put the Dodgers on all bases, making the bases loaded, but then got a ground ball by Kike Hernandez to keep it tied. Yamamoto pitched in the bottom of the 10th, retired the side, and then in the top of the 11th, Shane Bieber came in to relieve Seranthony Dominguez. He got 2 outs, got Rojas and Ohtani to ground out on 3 pitches, got 2 outs, and then on a 2-0 count, left a slider in the zone to Dodgers catcher Will Smith, who hammered it out of there. And then in the bottom of the 11th, Yamamoto came up to pitch in the highest of situations. Guerrero doubled. Sacrifice bunt by Isaiah Kinafalefa, so Guerrero at third, the tying run. All you need was a ball in the air. Yamamoto walks Addison Barger on 4 pitches. And then on an 0-2 count, Alejandro Kirk grounds into a double play. Mookie Betts grabs it unassisted, and the Dodgers are the 2025 World Series champions. Very long recap of a very good game.
The whole time that game was going on, I'm walking in circles. I'm like, just get it over the plate. When we were up to him, I'm like, just hit it, just make contact, just do something good. And we didn't do anything until like the 10th inning, 9th, 10th Rojas homered. And then Will Smith basically finalizing it, be like, I want to end this. With Yamamoto doing that double play to Betts, to first, to Freeman. That was awesome. I actually didn't really see it. I was just laying in bed, about to go to bed. So I would have to say that was an incredible season. The rookie, Savage, I will give him credit. Not allowing us to get hit. He just get any hits his first time pitching against us. Holding Ohtani, holding pretty much everybody. I honestly would say if the Dodgers did not win, I would say he would be the MVP. If you're dividing the batting to the pitching, Savage would have gotten the pitching MVP if they did that because of how good he is. And then being able to shut down. And then
I think the only thing Savage has to be ashamed of is he really has nothing. He pitched excellent. Really, the only thing he has to knock himself about is that Max Muncy home run. Just left a splitter in the zone to a really good hitter, and Max Muncy hammered it out of there, and that's what Max Muncy does. But Trey Savage has nothing to be ashamed of. He pitched at every level of the minor leagues this year. He went from a low A ball pitching in front of 320-something people to pitching in Game 7 of the World Series in front of a jam-packed house of probably almost 50,000. He has nothing to be ashamed of. It was an excellent journey for him through 2025, and it's definitely going to be a good thing to watch next year as the Blue Jays hope to run it back.
And also, Game 7 of the World Series was one of the most watched series since I believe 2017, possibly, or somewhere around there. But that was the most televised viewing. But quieting Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the last two games, that was impressive. I'm like, how do you do that? And then Game 7, Clement homered pretty much every single time, would hit every single time he was up to bat. I'm how, how can you do that? Like, you're just fouling every time you're up, boom, it's a hit. I'm honestly, he would probably be the MVP because he did his best. He gave it all he got. How do you do this? Like, even though we switched pitches, I'm like, how can you read the pitcher in like a few pitches and get on base? I'm like, give it up to them. Congrats. Good game for the Blue Jays. Sorry that they did not win. Back to back Dodgers.
Yeah.
Let's go. There's a few things I want to talk about it, but Vesia, the update on Vesia, reason why he was on the World Series. Some of you may have seen it, may have not. His daughter died believe shortly after birth. So I'm not exactly sure it's the full detail, but they lost his daughter, and that's the reason why he was on the World Series. And honestly, that is one of the hardest things to get over. And I honestly have nothing to say about that. That's very sad.
Yeah, Alex Vesia, one of the Dodgers' best pitchers, he sat out the entire World Series and did not pitch in a game. Him and his wife Kayla, it had been announced that he would not participate in the series due to a deeply personal family matter. People suspected that they knew what it was. I honestly had no idea that his wife was pregnant. But that's a really hard thing. Their daughter was born a little early, right? I think she was born right before game one. They posted a picture of both of their hands and their daughter's hands. Just a beautiful picture. And then I believe right between games 2 and 3, their daughter Sterling Sol Vesia did pass away. I'm not sure what she passed away from, but they did lose their daughter. And Alex Vesia posted a um a, a message about his daughter. He said, "Sterling Sol Vesia, our little angel, we love you forever, and you're with us always. Our beautiful daughter went to heaven Sunday, October 20th. There are no words to describe the pain we're going through, but we hold her in our hearts and cherish every second we had with her. Thank you to the Dodgers for their understanding and support during this time. Our baseball family showed up for us, and we wouldn't be able to do this without them. Thank you, Dodger organization, Nation, Blue Jays organization, and all baseball fans for your love and support. We have seen all your messages, comments, and posts. It's brought us so much comfort. Lastly, we'd like to thank Cedars Sinai and all the medical staff who helped Kayla and Sterling. Every person we came across was truly so incredible. With love, the Vesias." It's a very difficult and very rough situation. I think I can speak that kind of hurt and that kind of sorrow kind of negates the excitement of winning a World Series. Sure, I'm sure he feels happy for the team and stuff, but I feel like you can't really feel happy for something when something like that happens. That's just my opinion.
I would agree that you can have all the good things happen, something good happen, but when you realize what truly happened, losing a loved one, losing a child, that's that's one of the hardest things to deal with because you don't get to see them grow. You don't get to have memories with them. It's just like the Bible says, life is but a vapor. We don't know what's gonna happen. And it's
Yeah.
like you can be here one day and then the next day nobody sees you and they find out you passed away. It's like
Yeah.
losing a child, that's the worst.
Yeah. I really I really do hope that the Vesias are Christians and they are saved and that they are going to heaven because I would very much like to see them reunite with little baby Sterling. And I think I can speak for you and for me on behalf of Baseball HQ. Um, our sympathy and our condolences go out to Alex and Kayla Vesia for this loss.
So, free agents. We've had a few players opt out. So basically, the term or simplest things I can say is opting out means they may still have a contract with that team, but they're just going to see, hey, what can I get if I can I get another player? Can I be on another team for a certain amount? If I don't get accepted, if I don't find another team, I can come back to this team. Because in theory, you still have the contract with that team, but you just opted out for a short while to see what possibilities there are, what can I improve, or if there's a team that's interested in me. So that's basically a roundup of opting out, just looking what else there. So, few players, Bregman, Diaz, other players, it's like, um, Pete Alonso. So who do you think is gonna stay with the team? Do you think Diaz is gonna stay with the Mets?
I mean, it's kind of early to say at this point. I think that anyone that comes from a competitive team and a team that's constantly in the run for a playoff team, I think that the team that they are with is always a possibility. They can always go back if a team decided to cut them and to decline their option, then I think that then they probably won't return, such as Shota Imanaga, which the Cubs rejected his team option, which in turn triggered a player option, which he declined. So that was a kind of interesting situation right there. But I think if a team rejects your option, there's not really a very high chance that you're going to return to that team. But it's a little early to say. I mean, Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz from the Mets, just really good seasons for them overall. Diaz had a 1.63 ERA. Alonso had 38 homers. I mean, other free agent that declined their options. Jorge Polanco, Jack, nope, Robert Suarez, Alex Bregman, um, just different players that could wind up with the same teams, but they want to test free agency. So I think it's a little too early to say at this point.
I understand. But I honestly, this is gonna be an interesting free agents, just like last year was with Soto going to the Mets. But I honestly want to see what's gonna happen if there's gonna be any free agent signing this week. So
Yeah, I mean, there have been a couple very very minor signings that I've seen. I mean, we already discussed Nate Pearson going from the Cubs to the Astros. Joe Jacques went from Boston to the Mets. Richard Lovelady signed with the Mets. Cooper Criswell signed with the Red Sox. Keegan Thompson signed with the Reds. I mean, I guess the big offseason so far free agent signing was Leody Taveras, who went to the Orioles, and that kind of kicked off this free agent thing. So free agency this year is definitely going to be an interesting thing, but I don't think we're really going to start seeing free agency kick up till probably another couple weeks.
especially the new Japanese player, which is to me it's hard to say pronounce his name. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's four different new Japanese players coming to the MLB. You've got left-handed corner infielder Munetaka Murakami. You have a also corner infielder Kazuma Okamoto coming over. There's right-handed pitcher Tatsuya Amai. 3 major Japanese players that are coming over: Murakami, Okamoto, and Amai. So very interesting. And Murakami was just posted to the MLB a couple days ago. I think 2 days ago. And he will have a 45-day negotiating window. And Murakami can sign at any time between today and December 22nd. So between November 8th and November 22nd, that is when Murakami can sign. And so yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see where these players go.
I know, like you said, it's too early. What would be your top 3 places for Murakami to go to sign with? Top 3.
I mean, as much as I hate to say it, the Dodgers are always a hotbed for Japanese talent. So I think they'll definitely be in the running for them. I've heard the Yankees, the Mets, MLB, Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, Blue Jays, Cubs, Giants, Mariners, Padres, Rangers, Tigers. They shouldn't be counted out. They could all be in there. But I think the probably the Dodgers, Yankees, and Mariners are probably the top 3 to sign Murakami.
I would say Dodgers likely don't believe we really need him. It would be cool to have him, sure, but I'm like, we don't really need him. We have Tommy Edman second, Freeman on first. He can be a utility as a third baseman. Mookie Betts, shortstop. I don't think we
Yeah,
really need him.
I think with his skill set, I think he's too good to be a utility player.
Yeah.
He needs to be in the lineup every day. And
Yes.
I think the Mariners and Yankees are probably the top 2 to sign him, because Eugenio Suarez is leaving the Mariners. He's a free agent. So if they sign him, that's an easy fill over there. And I mean, the Yankees have Ryan McMahon over at third base, and I don't think he's leaving anytime soon after they traded for him. But their first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt, probably won't return. And then
He's just
Ben Rice should be in the lineup every day, in my opinion, for the Yankees, but he probably won't. So I'm betting probably on Mariners signing Murakami.
I would say Yankees would be good. I don't like saying this at all, but Padres kind of need a new second baseman. That's
Oh,
Reyes a
100%.
second,
We
because
we know they do. It's just they don't have. I don't think they probably have the resources, but I don't see that. I don't see a new Japanese player coming over and joining the Padres. I mean, do they need him? Yes, 100%. Does every single team in the MLB except for the Dodgers need him? Yes. So it's not like they don't need him. It's, does he want to go there?
yeah, yes, he would be a good position player, but it's like you would also have to consider how much he wants to be paid to play. Unless it's either you have 2 options. This is my opinion. You have 2 options. Either you play for the money, like some of these guys, Soto, Machado, wanted to play for the money. Where can they play to get the most money? Or you play for the sport and don't worry about the money. And be like, I just want to play. Let me play. I don't care what position. Here are my positions. Play me wherever you want. But at least I want to play some. And it's like you said, Murakami, with his skill, I've not seen any, but I've seen like videos and highlights off and on Instagram. But it's like, of his skill, I'm like, he's a top runner for free agency, so I see what you mean by the Padres. So I honestly don't know. I still have the Yankees, Dodgers. I would have down at 4, maybe 3. Giants, no. Who did they? It was the Giants got him. Who would they even? Who would they take out for him? Because I don't.
They need a first baseman
He could.
because they're not taking Matt. They're not taking Matt Chapman out off of third base. He's too good over there. And
Yeah.
either you sign a free agent or you put Rafael Devers at first base.
Yeah.
Which could happen,
So,
but
yeah. So I'd have to go Yankees, Giants, and Dodgers. I don't really have another team, but I'm just gonna stick with the Dodgers as number 3. I don't think he's gonna come to the Dodgers because we already have enough Japanese players. Because if we get more Japanese players, it's like, why call us the Los Angeles Dodgers? Call us like a Japanese type name. The Japanese Dodgers, because most of the players are Japanese. But it's like, because that's where they usually go. They want to stay near the coast. They want to stay near their country. But it's honestly up to the player. But I'm like, I'm not. He's the guy I'm not caring for. If he comes to the Dodgers, sure, cool. Who would they replace? Not anybody really. I don't think he's. So that's just my opinion. That the Dodgers probably won't get him. Yes, they may chase him to see what options other teams are going to offer him. But it's like we already have players in that position. Pitching is the main thing we need. That's pretty much for most teams is pitching. Relievers are free agents. Starting the one player I do not want to see, and I've said this so many times. And we also even almost lost one of the World Series games he pitched in, Trinan. And every time he came up during the World Series, I'm like, we're done. We're done. I don't even have to watch. I'm like, we're done. If they keep him in too long, it's like, you're basically just giving the Blue Jays the World Series. And it's like, I'm done with him. Either you let him go and get a better reliever, or you work on him all off season, so when he comes in the spring training, he's better. But I'm like, he's got to be showing something better. His ERA's terrible. His wins and losses are not good. I'm like, what are you gonna do? What you gonna do with him? Right.
yeah.
Kershaw, Clayton Kershaw, getting 3 World Series and 3 Cy Youngs at the end of his series career, with 3,000 over 3 just over 3,000 strikeouts. That very few pitchers have done it. It's him and Sandy Koufax. I can name other Dodger players. I can name other players who are going to be in the Hall of Fame. But being able to get 3 World Series rings and 3 Cy Young winners, that is impressive. Like yes, he dealt with injuries in his arm. Tommy John surgery. Still came back and fought through it. Because last season, when the season ended last year, he was like, give me one more year. I wanted the 3,000 strikeouts. And he was close. But it's like, coming this year, getting that 3,000 pitch, and then winning a World Series. Congratulations, Kershaw.
Yeah.
Dodger for
Yeah,
life,
I mean, like,
champion for life.
yeah, I mean, he's obviously got a loaded resume. He's a 11-time All-Star, an MVP, a 3-time Cy Young, Triple Crown winner, 3-time World Series, 5 times Major League Player of the Year, the Roberto Clemente Humanitarian Award, a Gold Glove. I mean, he is just all over the place, nicknamed the Claw. Kid K, the Minotaur, Kirsch. I mean, just all over the place and a very good career. And I don't know if baseball reference knows this, but he's retiring because they already have projections for him for 2026 stats. But yeah, just a very good career for Clayton Kershaw, and one of the best is leaving us, even though he might not be leaving completely. He might stick around, but definitely a good career from start to end for Clayton Kershaw.
Yep. Another segment I want to add, I don't know if we have time, the Silver Slugger Awards. Very special thing for the players for each position. First baseman for the National League side, you have Pete Alonso from the New York Mets. Incredible year. Up and down, but I would say he was a strong hitter. Just up behind him was Freddie Freeman, which honestly I would have to say he was good. This is not his full postseason year like last year. It was pretty much a home run every single game. But honestly, congratulations, Pete Alonso, for getting the Silver Slugger Award. And then for second baseman, Ketel Marte from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Impressive year. Do you have any update on him? Like, what do you have?
I don't really have anything on the Silver Slugger, but I will say that all these players on the Silver Slugger roster, I mean, for the National League outfield, Corbin Carroll, Kyle Tucker, Juan Soto, Manny Machado at third, Geraldo Perdomo at short, Ketel Marte, Pete Alonso, Hunter Goodman of the Rockies. Finally, a Rockies player gets an award instead of just being at the bottom of the food chain. Ohtani gets a Silver Slugger. Everybody knows that. Los Angeles
Yes.
Dodgers get the team Silver Slugger. And Alec Burleson of the Cardinals gets his first Silver Slugger as a utility player. And then the American League, just absolutely stacked there with two New York Yankees, two Detroit Tigers leading the way with Cal Raleigh, Bobby Witt Jr., Nick Kurtz, George Springer, Aaron Judge, just highlighting a few on the American League side of the Silver Sluggers. But all of them just really good seasons for all of them. And it shows by them being able to win these awards. Yeah, there's just one more thing that I wanted to add. And it was about the Blue Jays and the Dodgers in the World Series, Game 7. I have 3 Blue Jays that I believe ruined Game 7 and lost them the World Series. Number 1, or actually number 3 on my list, we'll start at the bottom, is the Blue Jays closer, Jeff Hoffman. We outlined um, at the beginning of the show how he gave up the game-tying homer in the 9th inning to blow the save. I mean, honestly, I saw it in real time on TV, and it wasn't a bad pitch. Guess it was in the zone, but it wasn't a bad pitch. But Miguel Rojas just got there and hit it out. But still, you can't do that. You can't hang a slider over the middle of the plate to a honestly pretty good hitter when you think about it. You can't do that, but he did, and it blew the game. Number 2 on my list is Isaiah
I want to
Kiner
say
Falefa.
something. I want to say something about Rojas. He has not gotten a hit like that since before the postseason. Like he's been silent. He's not been so good, but he's like, I'm gonna do something for the team. I'm gonna do something, and he does that. But leaving in the middle of the zone is one of the worst spots to do it on any hitter. So
Yeah, and Rojas hadn't had a home run, I think, since September 1st or something
yeah,
like that. So it had been 2 full months since he'd had a home run. Number 2 on my list is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who was the Blue Jays' second baseman. He was the one who got thrown out at home by mere inches. You can see that on the screen. He got thrown out by mere inches, and so we're gonna talk about that because it also ties in to my number 1 culprit, which is the Blue Jays' third base coach, Carlos Febles, I believe is how you pronounce his name. But after the World Series, a picture came out on Sports Illustrated and all over social media of this. The Blue Jays' third base coach literally telling Isaiah Kiner-Falefa where to stand. And he marked in the dirt, I don't know if you could see my mouse. Can you see my mouse?
Yep.
All right. It's blocked by the circle, but he pretty much told him to stand right here, hidden by the circle. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa took his right foot and put it on the line. He ended up getting beat by less than a step. If he had put his left foot on that line, he'd be over here with Max Muncy way off the line. So he's not even close to the bag because the infield's drawn in to get a double play. So, or to get the out at home, which is exactly what they did. But with Max Muncy way off the bag, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa can get as far down this line as he wants and not just stand right next to the bag. He later explained that he didn't want to get doubled off on a double play because the batter Dalton Varsho hits the ball so hard. But if he didn't even have to put his foot right on that line, if he had just put his foot maybe just barely over that line, we wouldn't be talking about the Dodgers winning the World Series. We'd be talking about a Blue Jays walk-off in the World Series.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 culprits who lost the World Series for the Blue Jays.
Yeah. And Muncy, to a point, Muncy was in a good, decent spot. But if you have a guy on third with the game basically on the line and you're not covering it, you are in a sense giving an opportunity for him to, if it's a bad pitch, he's already gone. You got to be ready. Yes, unless if Muncy was expecting or looking at a possible bunt. But it's like, I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. But honestly, it was a good one. I like those. That was good. Well, thank you for listening and watching another episode. Just remember, we have it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Feel free to watch, comment, give us a 5-star rating to help us. And hope you enjoy baseball. And it's a beautiful day for a ball game. Have a good day, everyone.